Okay, so good evening and welcome everyone to our program with Sister Aruna on kindness. This is the third episode in the series on kindness. The first episode was kindness in our relationship with ourselves. The second episode was kindness in our relationship with others. And tonight, the focus is kindness in our relationship with time, matter, and the elements. So again, we have the benefit of Sister Aruna joining us from around the world. She's in a very different climate and a very different time zone, but she's kindly joining us in Australia tonight to share her insights about relationships, and especially on this insightful topic, which it moves into a different sphere of how we live our lives. So again, I'd like to thank Sister Aruna for joining us and for sharing her insights on this beautiful topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine, and thank you, Panna and Satish Bhai and the Canberra family. Happy to be here again for the third session. And actually, this is a good thing for me because as I think about it more, as I churn more on the topic, I get more insights. And so this is the best thing about sharing this knowledge, is that you have to share it with yourself first. So thank you for this opportunity. So I've said a lot already about kindness with the self and kindness with others. And let me maybe, to tie that in with today, start with a story. And so the story is that there was a man who had spoken very badly about his neighbor. And he felt quite bad inside, felt guilty inside. So he went to his guru and he said, is there a way that I can take this back, take this deed back, and in a way be forgiven? And his guru said, okay, take all the feathers you can find and take them to the top of the hill and just leave them there, right? Take the feathers, collect them in a basket, take them to the top of the hill or mountain and just leave them there. He said, okay. He went and did that. He came back. And then his guru said, okay, now go and collect them all. And he asked, how can I do that? They've all blown away. And so the guru said, exactly my point. That once we have uttered bad words for somebody, they can never be retracted. They can never be taken back. And so, yeah, we have to be very careful about what we say and what we mean, because once it's out there, it's a reflection of what we are actually thinking. So the main thing about kindness is to really clean ourselves. The main thing about kindness is to really clean ourselves from the core inside. So any reflex action is an action of kindness. In fact, I shouldn't even have to think, oh, shall I be kind? Or is kindness expected of me now? If it becomes an intrinsic part of my nature, then it's obvious, it's natural, right? It's a reflex, as we say. So this is where, if I even just think about a subject, and this is what we do, this is what we yogis try and practice on a daily basis, is to try and take one or the other quality and to really just kind of chew on it like you would suck on a sweet. And just keep thinking about it. Let the mind chew on that quality, and then you will be able to extract its juice. And then it will slowly become a part of your natural nature. So that when you are caught off guard, in that moment, you're not in a dilemma. Should I be kind or not? No, your natural instinct, your natural nature just kicks in, and you are kind, you are polite, you are mannerful. So this is the state that we're trying to reach with this stuff. Anyway, you can go back, listen to the other series. But today we want to talk about time. We want to talk about matter and the elements. And so I'll try and somehow divide it between the three. And also I'd like us to do little meditations so that you can experience that. Now, why I say kindness with time, because again, I've given this a lot of thought. As you can imagine, I've been on this path a long time. And I feel that we really need to value time. Now, this moment right now, right, for me, it's 11:06. In Australia, there may be 6:06. This moment right now is never, 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 never going to come back. Just give that a thought. This moment right now is never going to come back. The morning that went, or your day that lapsed, is never going to come back. So if we know that this is not going to come back, then how are we using the time that is yet to come? Because I always say that we cannot change our past, but we change our past with the future that we create. So in that sense, we do change our past because our future becomes our past. And so this moment, this moment, this moment, this moment, this moment makes a difference to my past. That's why anyone can change at any time. And with, given a certain length of time, that will become their past. And so their past has changed, right? You change your past with the present. So this is what I mean about kindness with time. How kind am I being with time and the time that's on my hands? And it's in my hands, isn't it? Like we say that this is my time. We say this is the time that I'm in control of. So how am I using it? Have you given it some thought today that how am I going to use my next 24 hours? So for us yogis, when we wake up, and we wake up quite early in the morning, one of the reasons is to kind of calibrate our day. We wake up extra early before any other action can take place. And we kind of use that early morning meditation to calibrate the day, the frequency of the day. And we say, okay, today I choose to be peaceful. Today I choose to be calm. Today I choose to be respectful. And so in that way, what I'm doing is I am valuing not only myself, but I'm valuing my time. You see? And funnily enough, when we go to work and you're being paid for your job, you equate your salary to the number of hours. So some CEO, right, maybe gets paid 100,000 versus somebody who gets paid 1,000, whatever, dollars, pounds, dinars. And so then you divide that by the number of hours, and then you say to yourself, oh, this is kind of what I am worth, or this is how much my time is worth. But is it true? Is it true the way we judge this? That this is how much my time is worth? Isn't my time worth much more than that? So what I'm trying to say is, when I'm sitting with somebody who needs my attention, how much is that worth? When I'm kind to somebody and I give an hour of my attention to them, how much is that worth? Isn't that priceless? At work, we say, okay, my 1 hour is equal to $10 or $100 an hour, right? But when I'm being, kind to somebody, when I'm giving my time freely, and really with nothing, wanting nothing in return. In fact, they say that altruism gives the greatest mental boost. Altruism is when you do something without wanting something back. So when I do something out of kindness and I give of myself and my time, it has no value. It's priceless. I mean, it's there's no amount of, dollar sign that you can put with it. So that's what I'm saying. It's up to us. It's up to each one of us to realize the value of our time and then to put that in action, or to give it of service, to be charitable, to be kind, as we have described it in the past sessions. So this is what I mean about, if I use my time wisely, then I will always have the time to do the things that I want to do. If I have wasted my time, then I will not have time even for myself. This is where we are planting seeds with time. And time is not just the hours, the clock here. Time is an experience. Because sometimes you could be sitting watching TV, 1 hour lapses, and time is gone. And maybe you didn't enjoy the movie or the serial. But you spend 10 minutes with somebody having a really deep, refined conversation, and it feels like eternity. Or you have a really lovely, powerful meditation, and it feels like eternity, eternal. So time is not measure of the clock. Time should be a measure of experience. And that's why, let me add that when you go to work, you shouldn't see it as work, and you shouldn't really see it as I'm giving 45 hours to my work. But you should see it as I'm going for the experience. I'm going to give of myself. I'm truly going to give what I have to share. And the salary is just a bonus. I'm not going for the money, because if you go for the money, then, sorry to say, but we become a slave to the money. But if I'm going to give my time and I'm enjoying it, and I make sure I'm enjoying it, then I'm giving of myself. And those seeds that you plant will have much greater value than if you just think that you're going to work and getting paid. In this way, you see, we lose our value when we weigh things in this measure. But if I'm the one that's going to give, I increase my value because I'm now the giver. I don't want something in return. So they actually say that helping brings happiness. Helping brings happiness. And there's another little story I want to share about this little boy. Maybe you've heard it. So this little boy has been dying to talk to his dad, and his dad has no time for him. And so he asks his dad, how much do you earn per hour? So his dad says, yeah, something like, $100 an hour. So after a week, he comes back. The little boy comes back to his dad and shows him his piggy bank and says, well, I only have like, $50. Can I have half an hour of your time? And of course, it made his father cry. So this is the state that we've reached, where we cannot even give time to people. Time is most valuable. If you can give your time to somebody, that's much more important than giving an expensive present, because time is lacking. People don't have time. In fact, just being present with someone is the greatest act of kindness. I kind of mentioned it, I think, last couple of weeks, I don't know when, but just to even sit and eat with someone, even if you have eaten, or just to sit and spend a few times to connect with the people around you at work, at home, wherever, on the tube, on the bus, whatever, metro, whatever you call it. And just to connect. We are so just engrossed in our gadgets, in our cell phones, that there is a disconnect. Somebody was mentioning this morning how she got lost in a mall. And she got lost in the mall because of COVID, they've had special, some doors are closed, some are open, so they check the temperature. So they didn't know how to get out. So she was asking somebody else, and that person was also lost. And in this 10 minutes, then they started walking together, trying to find the exit. And she was mentioning how it was just so lovely to connect with this young boy. He was from Egypt, and his energy was just so lovely. But you see how it happened. I mean, that happened forcibly, where she was trying to find the exit, he was trying to get out also, and they connected. But why can't we give of our time freely and naturally, intentionally? And this is, as I say, the greatest act of kindness. So I repeat once again, presence of time is the greatest act of kindness. So again, can we just I'd like to talk about each item and then do a little meditation. So let's just take a few moments and just sit comfortably. Take a deep breath. And so I'd like you now to just try to separate yourself from this moment, which means I'd like you to just kind of detach and look at yourself a little further away from yourself. Imagine you're a few inches up and looking down at this moment. And in this silence, in this stillness, it feels like eternity. It feels like time has stood still. And as you breathe in, just take in peace and calm. And as you breathe out, just breathe out any stress and tension. And now just move a little further away from your building. So now you are looking down on your building. And now I feel a sense of freedom. Freedom from my drama and freedom from the limitations of time. I'm no longer trapped by the clock. I'm no longer running against the clock. Okay, just feel the stillness of this moment, the purity of this moment. Okay, and then let's come back. Slowly bring yourself back to the room, back to the self, and back to this moment. Okay. And now I would like us to talk about matter. So I see matter as like some combination of possessions, things. It could also include people. And so what is my relationship to matter? So let me give you an example, and if we were in person, I would do this demonstration in person. So what I would do is I would line up a few people, say 4 or 5 people, okay? And I would I would say firstly give them a diamond. Of course, it's not a real diamond, but I would give them this diamond and I would ask them to pass this diamond from one person to the next. Now just imagine, right? How would you do that? How would they do that? If you are holding a diamond, how would you pass this diamond from one person to the next? Okay, just try and visualize that. Okay. And then, I don't have it, but imagine that there was a hot piece of coal. A hot piece of coal. Okay. Or a hot stone, let's say hot stone. Now I give this to the first person. How long are they going to hold it in their hand? Not for very long, right? And they're likely going to just throw it and pass it to the next person and so on and so forth. So the point is that given the situation, we spend so much or so little time with it. And given the situation, we give it a certain value or importance. Okay? So we don't realize maybe all the time, but we are valuing everything, but not valuing positively. We are making judgment that maybe this deserves more time and attention as opposed to something not so nice. And in this way, we give of ourselves, right? Either we give a lot or a little. So intuitively, we know what is worth giving our time and attention to and what is not worth giving our time and attention to. So what I want to say about kindness to matter is let us learn to value, to appreciate, and then let us, show that kindness. Because also we know that, as I'm kind to things, it lasts a longer time. And I've seen this with many of my things. I mean, you look after your clothes, you look after your furniture, you look after your crockery, you look after your suitcases, you look after your car. If you look after it well, you park it in the right place, take care of it, wash it, oil it, all that, it lasts a long time. So this is what I mean about being kind to matter, even the laptop, even the phone. Like, why is it that some people just keep dropping their phone? I mean, it's a phone, it's expensive, it's delicate. So there's something about the way we think, it's about the way we are, the way we be, which, creates that relationship with matter. And that's what I want us to look at. Why is it that we can be kind to some things quite easily and not be kind to other things so easily, or it takes more effort from our side? Because matter is matter, but it's the energy that we put into it, right? This is why they say that how does a mosque become a holy place? How does a temple or a church become a holy place. It's just the same walls, it's the same seating, right? Same cement, same lighting, but it's the vibrations that we put behind it. In the same way, an idol, a stone, like the idol of a deity, was just a stone. But the love with which that was made, the love with which it was chipped and crafted so beautifully, that love is the vibration that you feel when you look at that stone. It's no longer just a stone. It's filled with a lot of devotional feeling. So my point is that with everything, I have to give it love. I have to touch it with love and respect. And yes, if I abuse it, then it will not serve me. You see? When we say it doesn't last, it means now I have to go buy another one. And so then it's time, money, energy wasted. But if I look after it with love and care and treat it kindly, then it goes a long way. But I'm trying to emphasize to you, when will I be kind to matter is when I'm actually kind inside to myself, when I have those loving, respectful feelings inside of me. Otherwise, we say somebody is like a bull in a China store, right? They just bombard everything and everything breaks, and everything even just breaks by them just touching it, because it's an energetic thing. So when it comes to matter, we have to give it that reverence. In fact, even something as small as a handkerchief, how will it be of value is when you've got some sentimental value attached to it. So for example, say this little handkerchief was given to you by your grandma, and say you adored your grandma. So even if it's a tiny thing, but why is it that we give it so much value and attention and keep it safe? Because we realize the importance of it, what it means to me. But if I'm to treat everything like that, with that sentimentality, then again, it's a beautiful relationship I'm creating with matter. Now, why is this important? This is important so that at a time of need, that matter can be of help to me. And we've seen this many times where people, are saved by whatever, the metal or the wood or the stone, whatever. It's very subtle. But if I have kept a good relationship with it, then I get a good return for it. So it should again be just our, normal pattern to be kind to everything, and not to think it doesn't matter. It does matter. It does matter. Matter does matter, right? Be kind to matter. Kindness matters, right? Why? Because I'm in constant relationship with matter. So now let's take the body, for example. Body is also matter. So if I don't take care of the body, okay, let's say, for example, if I'm not inhaling oxygen, but I am inhaling nicotine all the time, then obviously something's going to happen to my lungs. If I eat junk food all the time and the body cannot process it, the liver cannot, process it, it's toxic, then yes, something will happen to my intestine or gut or whatever. In the same way, if I'm not using my footwear or foot or feet properly, then yes, they will get damaged. So this is what I mean about creating this very loving relationship with even my body, to love it, to respect it, to treat it kindly, so that it goes a long way. It doesn't break down. Because again, if it breaks down, how much energy goes into repairing it? So this only works if there is this quality of kindness, of respect. And this is something that I have to nurture from inside. So again, let's do another few minutes meditation on this. So again, I'd like you to just take a deep breath. And now I'd like you to create this thought that I, the soul, am the driver of this vehicle, the body. And so as a driver, as somebody in control, in charge of this body, I treat it with that loving kindness. I give it exercise, I give it good food, I give it food on time, and I give it a rest by going to sleep on time. So now in your mind's eye, I would like you to just visualize your whole body as though it's a body of light. And just fill up, just top up the light in that light body. So you know what you look like. So just from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, this is your light body. And now infuse that body with more light by just creating peaceful, calm, powerful, gentle thoughts. And just show that utmost respect for this body, this vehicle, this costume. Because this is the only body that we have. This is my vehicle of expression. And now I'd like you in your mind's eye to just look at your life, at all the possessions that you have. So your house, your furniture, your car, your wealth, everything. And just send it, like just send loving vibes, kind vibes, vibes of appreciation, of gratitude to everything that you have. It has taken you a lot of time and energy to accumulate all this in your life. It is only matter, but it has taken you a lot of energy. And so now when you interact with it, you will interact with it with great reverence. as though that matter has feeling. As you close the door of your car, you will do it gently so as to not hurt matter. So begin this relationship in your mind now between you and matter. Treat everything with love. Okay? Once again, just come back to this moment. So you can get a feeling, right, of what we mean about being kind. Okay, now I would like us to talk about the elements. And what I mean about the elements is similar to matter, but I want us to talk about the sky, the earth, the water, the air, metal, and nature in general. That means all the flora, fauna, and this is living, right? We know that nature or the elements, it will go on whether we exist or not. We think we are superior to it, but it is more superior than us. And so, again, I want to emphasize that when we are in connection with matter, I mean, the elements, what is our relationship with those elements? And I'm sure many of you have been to a lot of beautiful places. I've been to a lot of beautiful places, seen a lot of beautiful things, a lot of natural scenes. Now, when I look at these scenes, because again, I've been following this path, I'm aware, I'm trying to be more aware and awake. I don't just look at it and take in the beauty, but I stop to try and give it some energy back. And this is what I mean about kindness to the elements. How much are we taking from the planet that we don't actually need? Because every time we take, every time you go to the stores and buy something, it means something, it means a whole chain of other events, right? So I go buy a plastic bucket. It's not just a plastic bucket, right? It has a repercussion. So every time I'm taking from the nature and elements, something has to give way. And this is why I come to simplicity. Can we live simply so that nature can simply live? How much are we actually ripping the planet of its resources, and then at home we are just wasting without being that conscious? So yes, there's a lot of movement now with recycling and replanting and everything. But the important thing here is, what is my karma with the elements? You see, if you see somebody else throwing a Coke tin, and then you do the same, you think, well, everybody's throwing their garbage here, let me do it as well. You are responsible for your karma with nature. That person is responsible for their karma with nature. So I shouldn't be doing it seeing them, because I should be more conscious that, hang on a minute, I don't want to create this karma with this nature, and so let me dump my rubbish where it's supposed to be dumped. So one is the taking away from the planet, the other is, dumping the rubbish where it's not meant to be, where it, like we see now, like there's so many videos of all these plastic masks that are being found in the waters, in the rivers, in the lakes. And of course, plastic in general, plastic bags, etc. Many places have actually banned plastic bags. So my point is, we have to see nature and elements from this vision of kindness, because it cannot protect itself. It needs us to help protect itself, you see? And we do that by being more conscious, by being more mindful. In fact, when we send out thoughts to nature, it actually does respond. And people have done this experiment with plants, etc. You talk to your plants and they seem to grow better, or they, flourish better. In the same way, there's something called yogic agriculture, where people sit and meditate in the fields. And when you meditate, you are sending out these positive vibes to the plants, to the wheat, etc. And they grow better, they grow healthier, or they grow with more nutrition. So this is kindness to the elements. Kindness to the elements is don't waste the water. Don't waste anything that you're not going to use. And kindness to the elements is to tread lightly, not like a bulldozer, but to tread lightly like an angel, so that I'm not hurting Mother Earth. This is kindness to the elements. And really to only take as much as we need. Can we manage with little? There's a whole big movement now of minimalism, and everybody's onto it. So instead of hoarding a lot, let me keep only that which I need, only that which I can use. And then let me pass the rest on to others so that others can be using it. Right? So this is my point about, and the other point I wanted to make is, look at how many tsunamis, earthquakes. I mean, in fact, there's a couple of places I want to mention. So when I was living in Turkey, there was an earthquake, and another time, a couple of years apart, I don't know before or after, but in Bhuj, in Gujarat, there was an earthquake. Now, both of these places had underground testing, nuclear testing. So the way I think is, here we send a missile underground, and then of course with time the earth is going to react, right? And the same thing happened in Gujarat. So if we are unkind to nature, then of course nature is going to say, okay, here, you have back what you threw at me. And that's why in the last 50 years, there's been such an increase in all these natural calamities. That didn't used to be the case before. So natural calamities are a result of us not being kind, by taking but not rewarding again. So again, to be mindful, really, when you go to any place and you visit any place where there is natural beauty, just take a moment and just give it your vibes. Actually, let's just do that now, and then I'll share a bit more after, before the end. So again, let's just take a moment, just go inside. So now I'd like you to visualize you're in some beautiful place. You can decide what it is. You can decide whether you're on top of a beautiful mountain, seeing the valley, seeing the horizon, or at the sea, a beautiful turquoise sea, or you're in some gardens or by a waterfall. Okay, so there you find yourself in the middle of this extremely beautiful, exquisite scenery. And all around you, 360 degrees of beauty. And all carved by nature. And you're feeling absolutely safe. You're feeling extremely happy and extremely grateful to be in the middle of all this awe and beauty. And so now we take a moment to just now send out our vibes of appreciation, of gratitude to this majestic beauty, this wonderful creation of God. Just savor the beauty, but also give it that respect and reverence. I now talk to that beauty. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. You are a mighty force. Mightier than us. You live in harmony. You know how to live in harmony. You live selflessly. Your nature is to give and only give. We are forever indebted to you. Just take one more moment. Once again, just immerse yourself in that beauty. And when you're ready, come back to this moment. Back to your chair. So like I said, whenever we go to these places, take time to meditate. just to be with nature. Because many times when we go to these places, we're with friends, we're with family, we make a lot of noise, and we're in a very extrovert mood. We're very excited, and that's all fine. But then take some time to just be and just to give your good vibes to nature. So, what I would finally like to say is after these talks, we need, like I would say, a kindness outbreak. Just as we have a COVID outbreak, we need a kindness outbreak where we are just kind and nothing but kind. And maybe let me say another story, tell you another story. And the story is that there was a boy and a girl, and they were friends, young. And the little boy says to the little girl, "Look, I'll give you all my marbles if you give me all your candies." And she said, "Okay." So he said, "Okay, you bring all your candies tomorrow." She said, "Okay." And so they came back together again next day. And the little boy put out his marbles. She put out her candies, and they exchanged, and they went their way. And then the little boy thought to himself, "I wonder if she kept any candies back," because he kept back some marbles. So, because he did that, he's now doubting whether she did it or not. And she didn't. She gave everything she had, as was the deal. And she was happy, and she was carefree, and she was guilt free. So, my point is that in being kind to others, let us not compromise, and let us not hold back. Let us not be misers of kindness, and let us really give freely and not doubting or not worrying about us. Because honestly, as we give kindness without measuring, without counting, we are adding up in our soul bank account. And so, how many seconds do we have? Something like what, 84,000 seconds a day? Now, times that by the number of days in the year, times that by the number of years that you are. How many opportunities have we had to be kind? And if you think you're going to live to 100, now how many more years you have left to be kind? So every moment, every second is an opportunity, and let us take that opportunity to be kind. Because really, this is what's missing in the world. That's why we chose this topic, because I've really been thinking about this. I'm feeling it, I'm practicing it. And I just feel like the world needs more kindness, kind hearts. And that has nothing to do with race or religion. We can all be kind. This is our humanity, to be kind. See, when even now, recently in Mumbai, there was a building that collapsed, 5-story building. So anytime, like Beirut, what happened in Beirut, like anytime there are these, catastrophes that happen, everybody just joins hands to help. But why does it take a catastrophe to be kind? Why can't we just make that a natural part of our everyday life? So this is my real final message to all of you, that let us pay more attention, let us give it more energy, and let us be conscious of it, and let us do it consciously. Let us think about it and really, plant those seeds of kindness, because only we benefit. If you have been kind, then kindness will return. So yeah, this is where I think I will stop. And thank you so much again for organizing this. Lovely to have been with all of you, especially in Australia. I haven't actually been to Australia. It's one of the places I haven't been, but anyway, we connect with our hearts. Thank you, Catherine. Over to you.
Thank you again, Sister Aruna. That was a absolutely beautiful and inspiring final episode for the series, creating a vision where we can focus on, as you say, it's an outbreak, an outbreak of kindness, to move forward beyond this series. Very inspiring. It's also lovely that you actually took us into the experience, the meditation experiences with time, matter, and the elements, and so many perspectives, so many insights around those topics. I think what I took from your talk, the essence that you bring to the topic is your mindfulness, your reverence, your respect, and the words that you're sharing around, that we can live more simply, we can understand the value of our own time, and it's more than just a paycheck or an hourly pay rate. It's actually so much more than that. So yeah, so many beautiful inspirations from this evening's talk. So thank you again for this evening, and thank you for sharing your time so generously for the whole series and sharing your insights on this topic. So again, for anyone who'd like to watch these episodes or share the links with your friends, they're on the Brahma Kumaris Australia YouTube channel. I'll also put up the details for the Canberra Centre. So if you would like more information about either this program or any upcoming programs, please send an email to the centre. We have evening meditations, regular online webinars, and we've even got a monthly newsletter and weekly mail outs. So if you'd like to hear more about what we offer through the Canberra Centre, please send us an email. We have another series starting in September. So if you'd like to email us for more details about that, otherwise, again, it'll be posted on the Brahma Kumaris YouTube channel. The series will start on 9th of September. Again, we'll be having another international speaker. So thank you again to all of our viewers, and a special thank you to Sister Aruna for joining us for this special series. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.